are going to show how to make stuffies. They don't have to be for kids, but it's something easy for a kid to take home. You just need some scissors, a sewing machine, some basic sewing tools, and you can make the cute little stuffies. The bonus part to this is if you want to make them fun, you can do all kinds of embellishments and stuff to them. Okay. So if you have youngins that want to learn how to do this stuff, go get them. So I'm going to show you what the panel looks like first. This is a cat stuffy. Okay, so it makes a kitty cat pillow. So here's the cat's face and here's the cat's tail. So we're going to cut both of those out and sew them together. So what I did was I just took these two pieces off of the panel. The panel comes with all four stuffies on it as well as directions. So you don't need a pattern because all the directions are written on this. There's a couple of tools that I'm going to show you that make it easier. You don't really need those either. You just need some scissors and a sewing machine. But I am going to show you some stuff that makes this process a little bit easier, and chances are you already have it in your sewing stuff anyway. Okay, so a couple things we're going to talk about. One is fiber fill. I used to think that fiber fill was fiber fill. Then I started buying this fiber fill from Lite. They are a US-based company, so they make all their products in the States. They make cotton batting and wool, I don't think they make wool batting, but they make cotton batting and polyester batting. But they make this really fantastic. So this is what the pack. I will say that I have given them a little bit of grief over their packaging because, well, it's ugly. So this is the extent of the packaging, and it comes so shrink wrapped that you see it like this. It basically looks like a giant white hot dog when it comes out because it's super shrink wrapped so that it's easier and cheaper to ship, so it doesn't take as much energy to ship it. They're also a very green company, so they use a lot of recycled materials, and there's just a lot of things about their company that are in line with our company. So this is the brand of fiber fill we carry. The reason I like it is because it is very fluffy and it separates really easy. It's not really super stringy. So you can make it really thin if you want to, and thin and even. So see how just sort of zhuzhing that around, this is a really even piece of the batting. The reason I like that is when you start making stuff that's smaller. So this fiber fill breaks apart really nicely so that you can shove it all the way down there to the tip of her arm. Okay, and you can really do a lot of form fitting with the face because you can really get it into the places that you want. So this is the brand of fiber fill we carry now because I like the versatility of it. If you want your stuff stuffed more firm, then you just put more in there, and I'm going to teach you some tricks to pack it in there so that you get it really firm. If you would rather have it be a little bit more squishy, then you just don't stuff it as much.
Is there a hypoallergenic fiber fill?
I think this is hypoallergenic actually. Yep, non-allergenic and washable. So I'll read you everything that's on there. It says this fiber fill is manufactured using lightweight 100% recycled polyester fibers. Ideal for all fiber-filled products, stuffed animals, dolls, home decor, holiday ornaments, and the such. Non-allergenic and washable. This is a 16-ounce package, so it's a pound, and it's made in Michigan. So, you know, it's a lot of different things that mean a lot to me. So, yes, you don't have to worry about the chemical compounds and stuff. All I did was I cut out these two pieces. You don't have to be perfect. I would say if you're going to err on the side of having a little bit of extra white because you're going to have a seam allowance. So I've got a face and I got a butt. And we're going to put the face on the butt. So here's the really groovy part about this is it's a nice, big, easy. These are the ones I definitely would start with because you don't have really sharp points or corners or any of that stuff. So if you're going to start talking about a first project, this is definitely the way to go. If you're sewing with a small person, I would probably take a pencil or a pen and mark lines for your turning. But first I'm just gonna pin a couple of spots. And I don't pin the hell out of it. I just, you know, pin a couple spots. So we're gonna pin the 4 corners just because I am gonna carry this over to the machine and do a little bit of, you know, stuff with it. So you want to get it as straight as you can. You know, printing on fabric is fluid. It moves just a little bit. Don't freak out if everything's not perfectly flat. So the pattern says to leave the whole bottom open for turning. I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't do that. It's really hard to stitch around the curves if you leave these open. So I would leave it open from about here to about here. Once you get to where you're used to turning, you could leave it open even less, but this is a good range. You want to have a continuous stitching around these corners though. And yeah, this is a Sharpie. I wouldn't normally mark with Sharpie. It's just what's nearby. And I made sure that my dots were inside the seam allowance so you won't see them anyway. So we just pinned a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna sew. And we're gonna do about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You could do it slightly wider if that makes you nervous. The beauty of these really simple panels is that it doesn't really matter because there's no real detail around the edge. So I'm gonna sew with my, let's see, I'm gonna bump this over to about a 1/4 inch. Since you know, if your fabric lays this side of the needle, I'm gonna use the edge of my foot as my reference point. So I'm just gonna drop the foot. I'm gonna do a tie-off stitch, or you could back stitch, and we're just going to slowly sew all the way around this panel. And people freak about curves, and that's okay, and kids are gonna freak about curves too. Just go slow. So you can take a few stitches. I know that my machine has this groovy pivot thing. If yours doesn't have that, then you can just raise the foot with the lever and stitch around these curves, okay? So we're gonna stitch all the way back around to where this dot is, and you wanna make sure that you tie off. You either wanna do a back and forward or you wanna do a tie off stitch, however that is, because you're gonna kind of manhandle this just a little bit. So you don't want the stitches to pop out. Now, here's another little tip I'm gonna show you real quick. Before you turn it, if you leave it right side up, so this is 1/4 inch steam-a-seam tape. It's sticky both sides, but it has paper one side. The apple stick will do the same kind of stuff. I'm just gonna take about a 3-inch piece of my steam-a-seam. Make sure you keep the paper on or your iron will be sticky. So we're gonna pull off another piece of tape and stick it right here on this seam. So since we did a 1/4 inch seam all the way around, this will kind of automatically make a little seam pocket because all of it is folded up next to each other. So now you can't see it, but the tape is right there. It's stuck on there. Oops, sorry. And we're gonna rip the paper off. Okay, now, here's another little tip for turning stuff. It seems weird, but hemostats are one of my favorite sewing tools. Lucky for you, the only hemostats I have in stock right now are the tulip pink ones, and so they are functional like this, but pretty like the stuff that she makes. So if you're not in the medical profession, you don't use hemostats all the time, basically they're tweezers that lock. So the inside of this has grip to it. You know, it's what's the word for that? I don't know. You know, it's like teeth like pliers. And when you close them together, you can lock them. Okay, and so now they won't come apart. The idea is, especially when I'm turning stuff, I don't know what it is about turning stuff inside out that sends my anxiety through the roof. I don't know what it is, but normally when I turn stuff, I make DJ do it. And I don't know how he takes those giant gorilla fingers that he has and he can turn stuff like this a lot easier than me. So I use hemostats. So make sure they're unlocked before you put them inside the pillow. And then you find the furthest corner of the pillow and open them and put your finger in there. Don't lock it on your finger. It will not go well. And grab it, and then listen, lock it. Okay? Then we're just going to pull it right way out. Once you get that first turn out, the rest of it turns really easily. And I just kind of loosely, you know, fluff the pillow out. Oh, I forgot to bring my turning tool is in my toolbox. Let me get this one out. I like this turning tool for this technique because, one, especially for kids, it's got a good grip on it and it's easy to hold. So we're just going to take this up inside the ear and poke it out. The tip of this turning tool also has like a ballpoint end, so you're not going to poke through your seam. So we're just going to poke her little ears out, and then we're going to take this and we're going to run it all the way around the seam. So make sure you turn all those curves out on both sides. Make sure her ears are pointy, because this fabric looks like my Beans cat and she's got really cute ears. All right, so now we have the whole thing turned out. So now it looks like a deflated balloon. Now we have the steam-a-seam on this side, so we're going to glue that shut. Okay, but in the meantime, we're going to stuff it. So we're going to take stuffing and just keep stuffing it in there. Here's another time I really like this turning tool for two different reasons. Since the turning tool has a fat end and a skinny end, the fat end is great for poking fiber fill up into spaces. So here's a tip on stuffing your stuffies. You want to stuff the points first. So if you really want to get these ears looking like ears, you want to shove that wad of filling that you put in there up into the ears first, because that's what's going to give it the shape. If you just kind of put it all in the middle and then, you know, hope that it goes where it's going to go, it's not gonna. It's just not going to do that. So I just, you know, stuff a couple of handfuls in there, and I stuff the ears first. I want the ears on this to be pretty firm because I want it to, they want them to stick up and I want them to look like cat ears, okay? All right, so now our ears are stuffed. Then we just keep ripping off handfuls of this batting and we'll just stuff it all in there. So I think she's probably stuffed up enough. You can close this one of two ways. Since we've put the steam-a-seam in there, so we're going to pull off another piece of tape and stick it right here on this seam. So since we did a 1/4" seam all the way around, this will kind of automatically make a little seam pocket because all of it is folded up next to each other. So now you can't see it, but the tape is right there. It's stuck on there. We're going to put the two pieces together like this, like a so. Oops, sorry, Steve. And then just press it and glue it down. So now you're at this point, it's glued together, okay? So you can either whip stitch, you can take a piece of thread and a needle and you can stitch this opening shut. I wouldn't only rely on the steam-a-seam because that's not going to last through washings and that's not going to last through kids dragging it around. I would probably sew that shut by hand. If you want to sew it on the machine, that's okay. My thread doesn't match, but this will let you see how to stitch it. Come on, turn on. I'm going to move this to the middle position so I can see my needle. And you want to kind of push that fluff over to the side, and then you can just top stitch it. So I'm going to do a little tie off stitch, and then we're going to tie it off again. Okay, so now you have a stuffed pillow kitty face. It's a very cute face. So that is a pretty easy way to go, and plus, you know, for people that sew, you can make this in, you know, 10 minutes. But for a kid that got to make their own little kitty pillow, they really dig this because, you know, it's that sense of accomplishment, and it's a short enough attention span time that they'll probably actually do it. So that's what I have for today's video. I hope you're inspired to try making a panel stuffy in some way. So I hope everybody has a good week, and you know, try stuffing something. You'll be all right. We'll see you later. Bye.